Hey folks, we're going to do some more coding today. To remind you why we're doing Golang coding as part of DevOps SRE coding interview questions. This is because when there's a coding part to an interview for DevOps, which is often the case these days, more often than not, you actually get a real programming coding question. Normally, you don't get like a Terraform or Kubernetes coding question. You get, and the reasons for that. So, and this is why, as DevOps engineers or SREs, if you are interviewing, you have to be ready for that. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on probably more than half the jobs that are out there, right? Now, fortunately, these coding questions for programming are less intense for DevOps role than for the truly software engineering role, right? Today's question is actually pretty darn simple. You're not going to get such a simple thing on an interview, but we're building up. We as we're making more and more questions, we're getting more and more complicated over time. But instead of giving you, and I'm learning myself, to be honest with you. Instead of giving you a complex question one after another, why not take the journey together and learn together? So today's question, we're going to write an anonymous function that adds two integers and returns the sum. Now, what is an anonymous function? An anonymous function is a function that doesn't have any name, right? So first, I'm going to write the same function as normal, like not an anonymous function. Then I'm going to convert that to an anonymous function pretty easily. You will see that it's really not that different. And then I'm going to talk about why these are actually used in real life. So here we go. So we start with package as always, package main, import FMT. Sooner or later we're gonna write something to the screen. All right, now here's our main function. Come on now, func main, and we're gonna fill this up later. First, we're going to write a function that is not an anonymous function. It actually has a name, like a normal function, right? So function, let's just call add2. And we're going to say it's going to take in an integer and another integer. And it's going to return an integer, right? And it's simply going to return a plus b. That's all it's going to do, right? Now we're going to call this function. So let's define some variables. A equals 10. B equals 20. And then C equals, now we're going to call the function add2 A, comma B. And then we're going to print, and we need to do this because we're defining and giving value at the same time. Now we're going to print C. Okay, this is no different than any other function. Super simple stuff. Let's go into the directory and clear the screen, run our program, and we get 30 back. Nothing special so far, right? Nothing special. Now, the way we write anonymous function is actually it goes inside the main function and other functions, right? So, so first of all, we're going to do is we're going to actually copy this function and then comment this out because we're not going to use this anymore. We're going to use an actual anonymous function, right? And that will come in here, right? So we're going to say, we're going to put the function right here in the middle of the main function, like right smack middle, like we're writing code, and all of a sudden we're writing a function in the middle of it. Difference is it's not going to have a name. So you're going to remove the name, right? Everything else remains the same except the arguments that we pass to the function actually goes into here. Afterwards, we say A. I don't know if it's parentheses or curly brackets. I think parentheses. Let's see if that's true. Save that. No complaints from the syntax boss. It worked. So same thing. So we can now remove this. This is commented out anyway, so nothing changed, right? Same thing, except we're defining the function inside the body of the main function without giving it a name. That's the only difference, right? Now, and so only thing we have to remember is that the arguments that we pass to comes in the end, and there is no name. Now, why would we do that? That's totally counterintuitive, right? The reason you do that because sometimes you want to write a function that's only used once, never again used again, right? So you don't want to clutter your code space with a whole bunch of functions that are only used once. So it's quick and it's like right there. You're done as you're writing the code. You're not writing a special function, right? You're writing it. That's the superficial reason, right? But what happens down the road, and I'm talking as if I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. What happens down the road is apparently we can use functions like this for other higher order functions that take in functions as arguments. And I haven't quite done that yet, so I'm going to have to learn that and code it and then do a video on those. But that's one use of it. The other use is we have this thing called closure, and closure, I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it. Closure, CLOSURE. These are like a wrapper around functions which retain the state of the output. So again, that's a whole other video. Those are actually used in things like callback and async programming and so on and so forth. So those are more advanced concepts that I'm still learning. But apparently, these anonymous functions are used for those things. But right now, all we're using it for is to make things simple. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe. That would be a favor to me, and I will see you in the next video.